Hello folks, today we are going to see how to secure your API gateways. Whenever you deploy an API gateway, you get a public endpoint, and whenever something is public, there's always a possibility that somebody can try to misuse it, or there might be some hacker trying to do a DDoS attack on your API gateway, causing you to not serve your customers. So there are many methods are there available to secure API gateway. One of them is API keys. Another one is deploying an API resource-based policy. That is a typical IAM policy, and then you write it and you attach it to your API gateway. You can also use client-side certificates, or you can also use Cognito user pools. There are many ways are there to secure your API gateway. In this video, we are going to see how to use the API keys to do that. Let me go over to my Amazon API Gateway dashboard and see what is the current configurations and what we need to change to enable API keys in our gateway. Here we are in our dashboard, and you see there's one API gateway that is deployed there, that is called as test search wiki. I'm going to open that, and here you can see there are two methods. One is called as post method, another one for get method. And if I go to my post method request, and you can see here there's an authorization which allows you to make an IAM based authorization. We are not going to do that today. We are going to do an API based security. So let me go ahead and enable that. So that is the first step that we need to do. But before doing this, let me show how the request happens, and when we enable it, how the request will be denied for your customers. Let me go to my console now. Here I am in the Postman console. I'm just going to put in the URL, and we are going to make a query request and send it to our API gateway. And here you see that I'm getting a response. Likewise, I have already set up the post request as well. So I have a simple message called as country and then India, and then giving a welcome message. So I'm just going to say a small change here, and then let us go and post it to the server and see the response. And you see here we get the response with the same message we sent it to the server. So we are going to enable API gateway and come back and see when we make a request what happens to this request. So here let us go ahead and enable it for the post method. Let us say true, and then click on the tick mark. And then remember that whenever you make a change, you have to deploy your API again. So we have made a change of our API keys. So let us go ahead and deploy it now. And it is going to ask you which stage you want to deploy. I'm going to say I have only one stage in this API, that is called as test, and I'm going to deploy it. So that is the first part of it. Now what is the key that I need to attach it to my headers that my API gateway will understand and allow those requests? So for that, we'll have to go over to my API key section and create a key and attach a usage policy or usage plan for my API gateway, so that if your customer is making more than X number of requests, then you want to throttle them or you want to start charging them. So that is why you want to attach a usage policy always to your API, so that you can have a control of how many requests are happening. But before doing that, I'm just going to quickly go over to my Postman console and show you, once you enable the API keys, your requests are no longer served to your customers. So remember, we enable the API keys only for the post method. So I'm just going to send this message again to the server now, and you get a message saying forbidden. But if I go ahead and do a get request, I'm just going to add an exclamation mark here so that we change the message and go ahead and click on send. We will be getting the same message back. So my get requests are allowed, but my post requests require an API key. So let us go to our dashboard and enable the keys, that is create the keys and attach the keys to the request that we are making from here. So let us go ahead and create a key. So click on actions, click on key, and then I'm just going to quickly call it as test key, and then use the same for description for now. And remember that you can have your custom keys and import them as well. For this demo, let us go ahead and use the auto-generated key, and the key has been generated, and you can take the copy of the key here so that you can make your HTTP request, or you give it to your clients to use this key to make request to your API gateway. So you need to secure it and store it in a safe place, something like AWS parameter store or your secrets manager. So the next step is to add a usage plan for our API. Let us go ahead and click on add usage plan, and it is going to ask me if there is a usage plan already. If it is not there, then we have to go ahead and create an usage plan. So click on usage plan on the left hand side, click on create. I'm just going to call it as quickly test usage plan. I'm just going to add the same thing, and how much you want to throttle it. Let us say I want to throttle it, say 100 requests per second, and I want it bursted at the rate of 10 requests. And what is the quota that I need to enable for this month? So I'm just going to say 50,000 requests per month is good enough for me, and I'm going to set next. And which stage of my API I want to attach. So click on add API stage, and you will get all the stages that you have. This is my API, and it gives a quick little exclamation mark saying not all methods are enabled. That is, if you remember, we enabled API gateway keys only for the post method and not for the get. So that is what this reminder means. And we have only one stage, test, and then click on this tick mark here, click on add, and then click on next, and we are done here almost. So we are going to add the API key, and our API key is named as test key. So it's just going to choose that, click on the tick mark so that we can add it. And remember, you can add multiple keys to your same API gateway, because you can distribute different keys to your different clients, different customers. So you can have multiple keys to your gateway. So click on done. Now that I have attached my API keys to my API gateway, I should be able to go to my console in Postman or any other terminal and start making those requests. So let's just go over there. So here in Postman, I'm just going to say welcome to India API key demo, and then I'm going to send it to the server. And of course, this is not working. The reason for that is we need to add the API keys in our headers. So how do I do that? Let me just go ahead and make it in key values. And if you don't have to see this value, let me go ahead and delete it. So if you don't see a value here, just go ahead and remove this one. And I'm going to say X API key. And remember the key that we copied from the console. We are just going to put the key here. So once you add that key, we should be able to send the request to the server and get a proper response. So there you go. We get the response from the server that we sent it just now. So that is how you enable API keys in your gateways and secure them so that they cannot be misused, or you can start charging them in a freemium model. After X number of requests, that your customer has to pay you for requesting or accessing your APIs. If you have any problems in setting up in your account, go ahead and put them in the comment section. I'd be happy to help you with them. Thanks for watching. Happy learning.